Ciao Juventini, ciao calcio lovers of the world, I hope you're all doing well. If you love calcio, it's the moment to put a maximum of like on today's video. It's the moment to also subscribe, even if you are not supporting Juve. Who cares? You're absolutely welcome and you're doing me a pleasure. If we are talking about calcio, we are speaking about the same language. And in today's video, we'll speak about 3 different games, because today we had 3 elite games, 3 top games. I'm asking myself what will happen tomorrow, what will happen on Monday. Not really something exciting to look for. Maybe the game of Roma, maybe Fiorentina-Atalanta if we want to. Roma with the official debut normally of Dybala together with Lukaku. Let's see, but more than that it will be not enough, because today we had some big games and we have enough to speak about. Surprising games, surprising results. A lot of people were waiting for Il Derby della Madonnina with 2 teams, Inter and Milan, that until there were impressing everyone. Until this morning were the clear favorites, but ahead, miles ahead of everyone, because they were 9 on 9, offering and practical football and entertaining football, and the mercato was correct, and so on and so on and so on. The result will surprise a lot of you probably, but there were a lot of differences in that game. Incredible. We'll do that recap. We will start with that game, by the way, and then we go towards Napoli. That was maybe, according to some people, a surprise, because for 2 games in a row, they were not able to win. 7 points for them. They are already at -5 from Inter after 4 days. Tough day for the Scudetti holders, Napoli. And then we finish in a few words about Juventus. I already did it in a live, but I wanted to recap at the end. So let's go with the first game, the second game of the day. That was Il Derby della Madonnina. Nerazzurri against Rossoneri. 5-1. Incredible. Ragazzi, even the Titanic sank with more honor than what Milan did today. Pioli again not able to beat Inter. The 5th loss against Inter in 2023. Disaster. Pioli that still didn't understand how Inter is playing, how Inzaghi is preparing against him. It's a total disaster. Today, I saw a Milan without Tomori that received that red card against Roma before international break, so shaking in defense and probably playing influenced by the fact that they were Scudetti favorites, because they were playing super high with their defensive line, which is, according to me, nearly a suicide. According to me, it's a total disaster. If you are provoking Inter, especially in the beginning of the game, going high on the pitch, I know that Pioli said for the 4 first minutes we were 100% possession. Who cares? Maybe Pioli forgot that the games are 90 minutes. 4 minutes of ball possession for Pioli, but the problem is that they conceded the 5th minute of the game. So probably arrogance from Milan, thinking that they were already dominating the game, that they were still big favorites of the Scudetto. I know there were a lot of words about the fantastic mercato done by Milan, Pulisic and so on. By the way, to Pulisic today didn't play well, but I have to say, when you are losing 5-1, nobody played well from Milan, except of that beautiful goal, let's say, from Leao that is continuing to score after the last game day, where he scored a fantastic bicycle kick. We all remember these images. But let's speak, unfortunately, because it's still a Juve channel, about the fantastic performance of the Nerazzurri. Nerazzurri that were so much stronger. So don't forget, they were the finalists of the Champions League a few months ago. We are speaking about the same team that was, according to me, able to reinforce themselves. Goalkeeper, they have now other choices on the wings, like Carlos Augusto that entered in that second half. A new striker instead of Lukaku, that is Thuram, that needed 1 or 2 games to really adapt to the game of Inzaghi, to Serie A, but he's already doing fantastic, beautiful things. The goal that he scored with l'Équipe de France during the international break, after Giroud was subbed out at the 20th minute because he was injured, well, I believe that if they were needing even more a confidence boost, well, it's already, I believe, if I'm not wrong, 3 goals in 3 games, if we are counting Nerazzurri, Inter before the international break, l'Équipe de France, and now again in the Derby della Madonnina. And let's say, what a goal. According to me, but I believe according to a lot of people, MVP Mkhitaryan, 34 years. You know, when we are speaking about, but he's old, he's already 30. Ragazzi, 34 years. For a lot of people, they were thinking that Mkhitaryan was a finished player, that it was the end of the career, that he was probably a player that would have gone to Inter. For what reason? We didn't know, but probably to sit on the bench and maybe sometimes entering for a few minutes. Today he starts. It's not the first time because he found in the end of last season really entering the mechanism of the team of Simone Inzaghi. Today is doing the difference with 2 goals and beautiful goals, and then a fantastic assist for the last goal, the 5th one that they were able to score. Beautiful Inter, yeah. Even if Milan, at a certain moment, they had a lot of ball possession. A lot of time we were thinking that they would have gone for the 1-1. And when they were starting to believe that they could do 1-1, they were actually leaving a lot of space behind. 2-0 for Inter. When they were thinking that they could come back to the 2-2, it's that moment that Inter is going for a 3-1. Then a penalty scored by Cianaloglu, ex-Rossonero, that every time that he can take a penalty against Milan, is super proud, he's super happy to take them, and he can't wait to celebrate in front of his ex-tifosi, the Rossoneri. So big surprise. I think that Milan is still a fantastic, strong team, but it's absolutely far from a perfect team. And if you're losing 5-1, well, it can't be just a coincidence. So the probably overrated Milan. Inter instead is stronger. Is strong and clearly the favorites to win this year Scudetto. Hopefully it will not happen, but at the moment, as we speak, 12 points on 12. They were already the best attack with 8 goals. They are adding 5 more, so I believe they are at 13 goals already scored in Serie A, which is a lot. Only 2 goals conceded. If we go to the other game that was played now, because I just finished watching it, Napoli, that was playing in the home of Genoa. At a certain moment, Genoa is leading 2-0. Miracle? Chance? Luck? Absolutely not. Because they were playing beautifully. They were not there only to defend against the Scudetto holders. No, they were there because at a certain moment they wanted to play, like the teams of Alberto Gilardino, ex-player, great Juventus fans were used to, because he already showed it in his career in the minor leagues also last year with Genoa in Serie B. So they were there to play, and they played. And they played really well. Assist of ex-Juve Conny De Winter for that first goal against Napoli. That was a really beautiful one. The one of Mattia Bani that they checked to control if there was a fall at the end. It was a correct goal, 1-0. They even doubled the score with Matteo Retegui. And to be honest, there we are at the 56 minutes. And we can say that they totally deserve it, because Napoli was nowhere. Kvaratskhelia still in his really difficult moment. I believe it's now more mental, but it's true that the international break for him was absolutely not an easy one. 7-1 loss against Spain, and then a 2-1 loss in that second game. He's coming back. We know that there were some words between the agent, between the president, because apparently Kvaratskhelia entourage wanted to raise that money, while President Aurelio De Laurentiis saying, I just signed you for 1.2 salary per year. That's what you agreed on, so we move on. We don't even consider it. Who knows in the future, but absolutely not now. Could be that all these things are influencing, plus the media that are speaking about Kvaratskhelia. Looks like last year it was the best player that we ever saw on earth. George Best was compared, and now it's the Finnish player after only 1 year. I think that we have to be a bit more balanced, but the game of Kvaratskhelia was bad. And also a consequence of that is that nobody was able to find Osimhen, that had a real difficult game. A lot of people that pointed him out as captain for their team, like I did for example, will probably regret that choice. But then they have these 15 minutes of Raspadori entering and changing the game for Napoli. 15 minutes where they are able twice to come back. 2-1 and then a 2-2. That goal of Politano, the second one, is just fantascienza. It's really beautiful. He already scored these kind of goals, so beautiful goal. They were about to win 3-2. They were about to win 3-2, what would have been probably a big robbery. Not because it was a dirty play, but because for 75 minutes they don't play. They just take these 15 minutes to do the difference. Napoli is not a disaster team. They will not go in relegation zone. They will still fight for the top 4. But attenzione, because if last year all the stars, and we repeated it so many times, were aligned to help Napoli to win, and I'm speaking about stars. I'm not speaking about referee. I'm not speaking about whatever. Stars in the sky. The World Cup break, less players than the other teams going to the World Cup, twice the possibility to do a beautiful preparation when normally you are having that dip of Napoli, of the teams of Luciano Spalletti, new unknown players that were really causing so many difficulties to the other ones that didn't know them in Serie A, and so on and so on. Chaos of Juve, no opponent, so they could also prepare tranquilly the game because they didn't have the pressure of obligation to win, which we know that the team of Spalletti were suffering when they were close to do something beautiful. Anyway, surprise, I don't know if it is a surprise if I see how they played after 30 minutes, after the 30-minute against Lazio. If I see how they play today, attenzione for Lazio. And then we go to the last game that I already spoke about live, so I just wanted to touch upon it. There is our friend Dusan Vlahovic that is saying something really beautiful on Instagram, because he's saying, we've got pending bills. In Italian, abbiamo dei conti in sospeso. We've got pending bills. What is he speaking about? We suffered a lot last year. They have that anger inside. They want to take revenge against who, I don't care, but they want to show that they are much better than last season, where they finished third. Far away from Napoli, but they finished third. If that is what people are feeling inside, well, it goes against what we hear in front of the microphones when we are hearing, we just want to go in top four. We just want to go in top four and that's it. No. Juventus, they have that fire inside, what they show today at every single celebration. Beautiful tactical game prepared by Massimiliano Allegri, that once again was able to win against Maurizio Sarri. Maurizio Sarri in the Allianz Stadium, that was once upon a time, for one season long, his stadium, is not able to beat Massimiliano Allegri, is not able to beat Juventus. Difficult for him. He did it once with a goal of Koulibaly. They were thinking about the Scudetto. Today, Lazio, that we saw today, far from the Scudetto, in possession of the game, with the ball, but absolutely not dominant. Juventus that is showing diverse tactical plans, not only one solution, what we were not happy about against Bologna, because we saw that once we were blocked, we missed creativity. With some midfielders that we were lacking, Locatelli, for example, in the beginning, in the 3 games beginning of the season, that today offered a Cinque Stelle performance. That's how I want to call it. 5 stars performance, because it was great, great, great. With a guy on the right side of the field that nobody would have believed in. We're speaking about Weston McKennie, that is starting, that is again in that top 3, top 5 maybe of the best men of today. And then we have a tandem up front, a partnership that finally we can see without physical injuries, without mental problems, without influenced by the external world, but that just can focus on being there together, bisou, and going for scoring goals. Both have scored a lot. Vlahovic 4 goals in 4 games. Federico Chiesa, 3 goals in 4 games, for a player that in the summer it was a disaster, that Max Allegri was thinking that he could have played in that 3-5-2 as a second striker. Ragazzi, if we continue like that, where Chiesa is scoring 3 goals in 4 games, 4 goals in 4 games for Dusan Vlahovic, where do I sign to continue with these kinds of results? Where do I sign? Juventus is at the moment second in Serie A. The only team that can join them at 10 points is Lecce, that tomorrow will play against Monza away from home. If Lecce wants to continue to surprise a lot of the tifosi of calcio, well, they have to win tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, they have equal points to Juve, and they will be second momentarily. Napoli already played. Atalanta can go at 9 if they win. Same thing for Hellas Verona. Fiorentina, if they win against Atalanta, they can go at 3. Will we see the first victory of Roma tomorrow? It could be. I hope not. I hope that Empoli will win. It is what it is, ragazzi. It is what it is. Oh, this was it for my, I thought, a mini recap about Calcio and Serie A. Let me know where I was wrong. Did I mention all the players? Mkhitaryan, the best there. For Napoli and Lecce, well, Raspadori is changing the game, yes. Then I believe that Genoa, not Lecce, Genoa did, as a team, did really well before collapsing. This is what I was thinking. Ragazzi, maximum of like, grazie, forza, calcio, ciao.